Are you bored, lacking inspiration, or just running out of time when it comes to making sausages? Then look no further. Our friends over at Leonards Ingredients have you covered. With over 40 years of experience, trusted and loved by thousands of butchers nationwide. Not only do they have a massive range of off-the-shelf complete sausage and burger mixes, dry glazes and coating, they have 40 plus gluten-free flavors. But wait, there's more. You can also create your own bespoke blend with a wide range of custom sizes, from 200 grams up to 10 kilo bags, with guaranteed flavor in every make. Not only do Leonards save you time and money, but also space for your drive store. The development process is incredibly simple, and the minimum order quantity is just 30 kilos. Have a product that's unique to you. Call 01825 760 262. That's 01825 760 262. Or email info@leonards.co.uk to get the process started.
Leonards Ingredients, family-run company with 4 decades of service and experience. Shop local, shop Leonards.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Butcher's Bible Podcast. I'm your host, Ant.
And I'm Luke.
2 blokes preaching the good word of the meat industry.
1 episode at a time.
Nice. Nailed it. Right. This Friday, we have a very special guest with us today. It is the one, the handsome, the young, the very talented Was from Was Sauce Hut. How are you, Brass?
Thank
Thank you for coming on. I know. He said he was going to freewheel it, and he did. Yes. Why not? Welcome.
You put me on the spot. You're just like, I bet you got one loaded. I was like, yeah, let's fire off the hip.
No. How are you, man?
Yeah, good. Yourselves?
We're all right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, not too bad for a Friday.
Of course, we know who you are, but if you want to take this moment to plug and promote everything Warren Kimber.
Yes, Warren, aka Was, run a small sort of family business doing handcrafted sauces. So Waz's Sauce Hut, really focusing on some unusual flavors, clean products, just something a little bit different that's not in the market. So yeah, that's pretty much me, really.
Brilliant. Very, very good stuff. As we know, because you were our first sponsor, which we appreciate.
Love it. Appreciate that as well.
And great quality stuff. You just churning out quality sauces. You know, we've had the pleasure to see you at a couple of markets recently, festivals even, and yeah, it's always busy. Your stalls, there's always people there. Must be free crisp chips that you give away.
That's it. That's what it is. Feeding the crowd.
Yeah, you are. You really are. So how did you go? And I'm just excited, mate.
Well, run us through where this all started from, Was.
So always been into sauces. I come from a family that loved cooking. My dad was a chef. So he always used to put on the big weekend spreads or family spreads. That always used to sort of blow my mind, sort of seeing how one person could put on so much food. So I've always enjoyed that side of things. It was my mum who really impressed upon me how to pack flavour into dishes. My mum's the type of person that doesn't really care about food. If scientists came up with a food pill, she'd be happy. But yeah, just always remember the weekday meals just really being absolutely full of flavour, and loved them. But always had to have a sauce on the side somewhere. So that's probably where my obsession with sauces came from.
You're a sauce guy.
Yeah, I'm a saucy guy. And yeah, just sort of progressed from there. Started making, when I used to come home from school, I'd have like beans on toast, and I'd always then just squirt loads of stuff in the beans on toast just to create a different flavored sauce inside there, or some weird concoction. So yes, that's sort of where it sort of mainly stemmed from, I suppose. And then jumping forward, through school, that was not the most pleasant of times for me. Then getting married, having 2 children that were severely allergic to everything. And I've said this before, my son was the type of person, if you ever watched The Simpsons, where Bart's in that ball, that's my son. Everything was out to kill him. We were constantly, in and out of hospital with him, stuff like that. So when it came to food, it was a real challenge to try and find anything out there that he could have, especially when it came to sauces, because they were just full of junk, full of wheat, soy, gluten. It was just jam-packed with it.
Yeah.
So I started, I suppose, from then, sort of making sauces at home for the family. But that's all it was, just me making up some sauces, barbecue sauce here and marinade sauce there. And that was it. And then jump forward then, just before the pandemic, my health started going down the pan slightly. I had an accident when I was a child that damaged my back. And I'm in manual labour as a main job. And that's not maintainable for the future.
Yeah.
And my wife just says, look, you love making sauces. Give it a go. Why not? And it took ages for me to agree, because I don't have the most self-confidence in the mainstream things. I always lack that sort of, I like them, you might like them, but the general public's a different matter. So after a lot of sort of barraging from my wife telling me, you could do it, go for it, we developed 4 and just launched, and went from there, really.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yes, that's sort of, in a very much nutshell, of my life.
Yeah.
What background is it that your family originates from then?
Well, cooking-wise,
Yeah.
so my dad was a chef in the Merchant Navy.
Right.
And then he went on to being a chef in restaurants, pubs. He was a chef at the Savoy Hotel for a while. And then he left that side of the industry when he had children, because being a chef and a family man can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
Working all hours under the sun, and he decided that being with the family is more important. So he changed fields into engineering, and but he still kept on cooking at home and sort of passing that on to us and showing us things. And so it's that sort of whole journey of sort of just watching it as a kid growing up and seeing how food can bring so much joy to people.
Yeah. He must have been used to cooking for so many people though as well. So a smaller family was nothing. He's probably used to cooking for hundreds of people.
Yeah. Whenever we have like people over, it's like we'd just, my dad would be, I'll cook. And my mum was also say, there's only X amount of people coming. Be like, yeah. And there's always just like trays and trays and trays of food, already leftovers weeks afterwards. It's like,
That's good.
And he loves it so much. He really does. And when I got married, he had to cater for my wedding.
Of course.
So it was like, okay,
Very
fine.
cool.
You can cater it, but when it comes to handing over the reins and being a part of the wedding, you've got to let go. Yeah, he put on amazing food for us at the wedding as well.
I bet. Above and beyond.
Yeah.
That's cool. Really cool. So what were the first few flagship flavors that you created?
So we had the Captain, that's the honey rum chipotle. The coffee sauce. That's the carpe diem.
That was good, that one.
Sweet Embers, the cherry cola. And the Hawaiian Tropics, the hibiscus.
Yeah.
They were the 4 we started with.
Yeah. I mean, they don't sound like your run-of-the-mill
No.
flavors. So tell us a little bit more about them. What do you substitute out, if you see what I mean? So you're not using any artificial sweeteners or anything. What do you use instead?
Yeah, so to be honest, if you just strip it right back and just go back to the basics, wholesome, fresh ingredients, source them really well, you don't need to actually put in, a lot of your junk anyway to preserve your sauces. So like your vinegars is a natural preserver. There's natural sort of acids out there that you can add in that help preserve your food. So yeah, just trying to sort of look at your food and go, how can I make this? You know, one of our sort of, as a family business, our slogans is from my family to yours. And if I'm not willing to put it on my table and feed it to my children, why would I want to put it on your table? So it's really just trying to bring everything back and looking at the ingredients and saying, you know, what's in that? Is that wholesome? Is that beneficial for you? Does it taste really good? And just building it from there, really.
Yeah. That's cool. A bit like butchery, that. If you're not going to give it to your family, don't put it out to sell.
Yeah. You sold that right out of my mouth, mate. It was like, that sounds like the butchery one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. So you go.
No, you go. Sorry, no, you go.
No, I've said 2. This is what it's going to be like, is it?
Yes, no fighting now, children.
What?
You go. I'm drinking my water. You go.
So with the 4 already made, where did you go straight into that? How did you kickstart this all off then?
Well, the Captain was one I'd been sort of messing around with for quite a few years. So I suppose my initial thought when I went into it was I wanted a range of barbecue sauces, because that's one thing that used to really wind me up whenever you go look for barbecue sauce. Not so much now, because I think people are sort of cottoning onto it, but definitely back, I'm talking, 20 plus years ago, the only sauces you could buy were the typical generic barbecue sauces from the States. That's just sweet, smoky, sweet, sticky, and that's sort of it. And then just loads and loads of E numbers or stuff like. So nothing really with any depth of flavour. And I'm a strong believer that the sauce complements a dish. So it needs to add something to your meal. And if it's just sweet, then it's not really adding any depth to your dish. So the Captain was one I'd always had whenever I was going to do a barbecue or stuff like that. I'd make it up, but it wasn't refined. So it just needed to be refined and tweaked, and to where I thought, people might like this.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. So when it was a stepping stone from there, did you go into like households and introduce it to them, or did you go straight to like shops, barbecue bits and pieces, and go, look, try this, tell me what you think? Kind of, where did the ball roll?
So when I got the core, what I call the core 4, I thought I was happy with. They'd gone through the whole testing process and everything. Before I got to that point, it was literally just offering it to the neighbours, offering it to some friends, saying, "Oh, you're having a get together. Take this, try this, see what your friends think of it who don't really know me." Because sometimes you give it to someone who knows you, and they're like, "Oh, this is really lovely." And you're like, "Isn't it? Do you really like it, or are you just saying that?" So getting lots of feedback that way first, until I felt okay. There's interest. People are enjoying it. In the end of the day, it boils down to when you take that step, it's just, I'm just going to have to put myself out there, put this out there, and hope that it's received well. And thank goodness it was.
Nice. People be crazy not to fucking love this product. I've been saying it for years, mate.
You have.
At what point did you think that we've got something here and you really started to gain traction and go into larger, retailers, let's say, like more high street shops, like butchers?
Yeah, so I still don't think I'm there. I still question if I'm there. But I suppose for me, my first sort of wow moment once we launched was Charles at SoCal. I'd only met him a couple of times. In passing, I mentioned I was going to launch these sauces. He said, "Oh, well, when you do, let me know." And I said, "Oh, yeah, we'll do." Not really thinking much of it. Contacted him. And he said, "Yeah, we'll stock them." And our first time seeing my sauces sitting on someone's shelf, and they've paid me for that product, and now they're going to sell it to their customers. That was quite a moment. And even now, to be honest, my phone beeps and it's an order, and I still get excited. It's just like, it's an order. It's just like, but it's that type of thing. When you first see it on the shelf, and then you get those first few feedbacks on it. And I love seeing how people use our sauces, not just using them as a dipping sauce. One of our things we've tried to do is create a range of sauces that aren't pigeonholed in, oh, that's a dipping sauce, but sort of say, well, you can use them as a marinade, use them as a glaze, add them into a dish that you cook. Don't change how you're cooking, just experiment with adding a flavour to it. And that brings me so much joy when an Instagram post comes up and someone tags you in and they've used it in this way. It's like, oh man, that's just awesome.
I use the Kraken Fury on some chicken wings as a marinade, and then kind of as a glazing. So good. Just too much all over it. It's just literally drinking it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's that. That was weird because I was never ever going to do hot sauces.
Yeah.
For two reasons. A, I'm not a big hot sauce fan.
Blasphemy.
I know it is. But yeah, I'm very much a flavour driven person, and I find a lot of hot sauces, it leans more to the heat than to flavour.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was never going to do any hot sauces. Now I've got two. But the Kraken came about because the response to the captain was just so great. But a lot of the feedback was, we love it. Could you do a hotter version of it? And I was like, I might be able to, but the flavour still has to be the dominant driving force.
Yeah, it is.
So that took a while, sort of playing around with different types of chilies and different types of chili powders and seeing which ones worked well, that you still had all the flavour profile that people enjoyed from the captain, just with that extra little kick.
It's brilliant. So good.
Brilliant. It's one of my favourite as well. When you first introduced that and I had my shop and I was like, yeah, just give me the 6 or whatever it was. And I was like, right, I'll take one now and I'll put it on my sandwich. And then like I'd run out at work and I was like, oh, I'll just take another one. And I was like, oh, I haven't got one for home. And then I'll run out of home. And then by the time I realized, and I'm like, oh, I got no Kraken left.
Wow, we sold out already.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. My business partner's like, where did all that hot sauce go? I was like, well, I had it. It's like, fuck's sake, man. I was like, it's good stuff. But he's the same as well. He's like, oh, I love this. I love the marinades and like all the other flavors. I'm not a hot sauce fan. I was just like, you can fucking leave. To me, it's like that, the Kraken in itself, that is like a good stepping stone between the flavor and heat, but it doesn't take you down the route of like, I need to go hotter. It's that perfect balance, and it's a really good introduction. It's like the hot sauce for anyone of like any age, any level, whatnot. When it comes to that, it's just, I always throw it down their throat and go, this is the shit.
Yeah. My son's saying, my son could never, he hated heat. He never liked hot sauce. He never liked anything overly spicy, but he loves the Kraken. And I sort of, at the shows, I sort of call both our hot sauce, I sort of call them the roller coasters of hot sauces, where it's all this flavour, then this sudden heat, but then it drops off quite quickly. The other ingredients just sort of pull the heat back a bit. So you want to go back and eat some more to get that whole flavour and heat profile again. And it's quite funny because the Kraken is all flavour first, then the heat sort of comes in a bit later, where our new Tropical Flame, the one's gone blank now, pineapple and habanero. It's the heat first you get from the habanero, and then the pineapple sweetness just comes in and just tempers it down a bit.
Yeah.
So you get the whole enjoyment of flavour again.
That's great.
So, yeah,
Did you ever have any I don't know how to put this, any mistakes in the R&D department of almost blowing your head off?
Yes, many times.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, funny enough, the chili we use, the Naga chili, I don't know what it is about the Naga chili, but if I'm not wearing full face hazmat suits, I just sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. My eyes just go bright red and swell. It's just, I can't deal with it. It's just like, and I learned that the hard way when I was going, oh yeah, I'll scoop some of this in there and chop some of this up here and there. And suddenly I'm just like, eyes are streaming and I'm sneezing like mad. And Yeah, then you sort of go, oh man,
Oh.
no, why did I just do that?
Get that milk.
Yes. Yeah. My son actually found out, he reckons that if you take lemon juice or lime juice, it melts the heat straight away. Better than milk, they reckon.
As in like topical or putting it in your mouth?
Yeah, if you eat something really too spicy and hot,
Yeah.
just drink some lemon
Acid
juice.
on acids.
But you wouldn't want to rub it in your eye. That's what
No,
my
it's
mind
not-
went to straight away.
Yes, yes, word in your eye.
Like 5 shots of lemon juice. Yeah.
Get the tequila.
But that's surely that's not any better than just chili, is it?
Yeah.
Lemon.
But it's that acid, the acid on acid. Those,
I
so
guess.
it eliminates it. Yeah.
You know, I guess it does.
The old one when we were apprentices and we would cut onions and that, people would say, get a wooden spoon and put it in your mouth. And so you breathe in and out of your mouth.
No,
It don't,
okay.
it don't fucking work. You
No.
just look like an idiot, just chop the shit up.
Yeah, there's so many secrets, isn't there? But like with like onions or chilies,
Yeah.
it's that old slice of bread in your mouth, so it catches all of the whatever. You're like, no, and everyone's laughing at you.
That's right, with a bit of bread hanging out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's precisely like a wheaty tongue or something.
This bread is meant to be filtering in, and now I'm just hungry.
Yeah,
That's
it would
right.
just fall apart, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Oh man.
Oh, that's horrible. I need to know when it came to the coffee one. Where did the idea came for that? Because that was one of the many that I've just became obsessed with, and I added it into everything. Where did the idea for that one come from?
I think a couple of days. I've tried a few coffee sauces because whenever I go anywhere, first aisle I hit in any sort of like small artisan shop is the sauce section on Joystock. And if it catches my eye, I'll try that. And I've often tried a coffee sauce, but they've always just been so bitter. And yeah, I enjoy coffee.
Oh yeah.
But for someone who doesn't like coffee, that's the first thing they don't like.
Yeah.
Is that bitter harshness of a coffee. And to me, coffee, steak, it'll be, just works so well. Even though I didn't want to pigeonhole any of my sauces, to me, yeah, beef and coffee just go hand in hand. So I wanted to create a coffee sauce that harnessed the elements that as a coffee drinker you enjoy, those real earthy notes, those like little chocolatey notes you get, the roasty flavour through the smokiness without the harshness of it. And that took a little while to do, balancing out the different ingredients, stuff like that. And at the shows, it's unbelievable. You go through your line of sauces, and I know what's going to happen. As soon as you get to the coffee sauce, this is our coffee sauce. The face is like, oh no, I can't stand coffee.
Yeah.
And I sort of straight away say, you've got to try it now then. Oh no, I can't try it like this. You've got to try it now. It's not what you think. Just try it like this. And I'd probably say 7 out of 10 people who try it go, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's not what I expected. And they tend to buy a bowl. But it just goes so well, just straight on your steak. What's so great about it is any mince-based dishes like your chili con carnes and spaghetti bologneses, any of those stuff that really get enhanced with coffee, just brings that dish up that extra level. So yeah, so still try to get people behind it. It's a hard one in shops.
Yeah.
When you're out at shows, people can sample them. It's a no-brainer. I can sell them till the cows come home. But yeah, in shops, people's just natural reaction. They flinch back. Oh, coffee. I'm like, oh no, don't know about that one. One of our stockists actually now puts out samples. He rotates through his other brands, but he's learned putting out a few samples, sells the product.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think humans they're a bit of creatures of habit. They walk in, they gravitate to what they've had before, and they always do the look. I'll take this one because I know it's a safe option.
Yeah,
but yeah, if they can taste it. Yeah. But if they taste it, they're like, oh, actually,
It's worth a go.
so
It's where to go, yeah.
100%. Are we on the same wavelength or something today, Anne? We're like saying the same things.
Yeah.
passing notes.
What is going on? It's good.
Anyone
You
thinks
make-
you've done this for a while?
I know, right?
Only 50 episodes. Man, we've vlogged through them.
I know.
Hasn't it?
Do you make all of your sauces in-house?
Yes.
Amazing. Without giving away your secrets, do you want to tell us a little bit about your process?
So, actually creating a sauce, or the process of making them?
He starts with a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Puts his shoes on.
Well, any sauce. Which one do you feel like you enjoy making? Every time you need to make a new batch, do you go, "Oh, I like."
Ooh,
Need like a more.
I probably enjoy making the ambassador,
Right.
new
Oh,
ambassador South African
was great.
sauce.
Oh.
Just because it's like a 3-stage. It's the soaking of all the fruit the night before, and then it's like blitzing and chopping up. So they're making the chutney first, getting that to where I want it, and then making the relish part to it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a long-winded process, that sauce, but it's quite fun to make, and the smell is just amazing. Probably also my 2 alcohol ones, because I get to have a little sip
Yeah.
as I make it. So I try this product first, make sure the bourbon's correct.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a
control.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a science behind it, and it's just something I've kind of completely glossed over, as I'm sure many people have. But can you have a bit of a leeway, or is it to the number to get it bang on?
No, there's quite a leeway. So what I normally do is I'll come in and measure out all the ingredients first.
Yeah.
And yeah, to be honest, if you're a gram over, it's not going to make a huge amounts of difference. There's quite a leeway. There's certain ingredients that you want to get fairly if you want to maintain benchmark that you want. So like for me, I know like my hot sauces, I'm quite strict with the spices of the chilies and stuff like that, because I don't want it just to push it where now something go, oh, that's a little bit too hot, or that's a bit hotter than normal. So yeah, I'm quite sort of particular about sort of my sauces staying. So if you buy it one week and you buy it the next week, yeah, there's going to be a slug because it's handmade. It's not a factory churning it out. So it's me sort of measuring it, and sometimes I'm a bit over it. Oh well. Especially when it's liquid. Sometimes I get a bit lazy and I sort of get the big bowl out and I sort of add that liquid, then add that liquid, and add that liquid. And sometimes you're like, oh, damn it, I've just gone over 2 grams over. Oh well.
You can't take it out, can you? Like a powder.
No, that's it. But yeah, it doesn't make a huge difference, a gram here, a gram there. It's if you go way over, then you notice the balance.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good to know. Not that I'm going to start a rival hot sauce company or anything.
That's right.
I couldn't imagine you tossing that up on that plate, Lukey, between what you do. Fuck that.
Oh no, I can't. I've got too many plates spinning at the moment.
No, I know.
Even I'm going, I need to slow down a little bit.
No. That's not you at all.
No, I'm not going to. Can't slow down.
So you've been established now. You're starting to put the product on the shelves. You got the name out there. Where was the stepping stone to go, let's take this a step further and start doing like the barbecue festivals and everything?
I think actually fairly early on we recognised that it's brand awareness. As much as social media is great, unless you've got a good following, people sharing your stuff and tagging you and stuff like that, your reach is very limited, unless you start paying for ads and stuff like that. So we realised that having a social media presence is good, but you need to get it in front of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And the best place to put it in front of people is markets, festivals, especially festivals because of football. So yeah, I think our very, very first festival we did was Smoke and Fire Ascot.
Cool.
I think we'd launched, and I think it was something like 3 months later we had this festival, and I didn't have a clue, volumes and stuff like that. So I'm estimating all this. I think they were sort of talking about sort of 20,000 ish footfall and all this.
Yeah.
So
how many years ago was this?
This was 3 years ago now, almost.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, 3 years ago. So there's me, useless at maths, going, right, okay, if X amount of people out of that 20 buy it, I need X amount of So I went there with a massive van load, like cranking up to the hill with sauces. Didn't need a half of that volume, but we sold really well. Now I've realised, how much to take to each festival. So you don't necessarily sell out fully, but you pretty much sell out.
Nice.
Yeah, that was our very first one, and yeah, that was nerve-wracking. Having the Joe public who don't know you really, they've got no real interest or investment into you or your business, and getting some honest, harsh feedback from the couple. But in general, just really positive, and I think that boosted that. Okay, maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe I can do this, and you don't feel like a bit of a fraud.
It's always that imposter syndrome, isn't it?
It is big time.
It's always there. Even from the bottom to the top tier of people we know, it's always going to be there. You just got to keep on pushing. I think what you're doing is great.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Oh yeah.
You're doing some serious stuff.
Serious gear.
Yeah. So what is on the horizon? What is in future for Was the Sauce Hut?
I suppose just keep developing. Like I said, I've got a tiny little unit here that I work out of at home. I've outgrown the pot I'm using, so I'm looking at a bigger pot now, just so I can make bigger batches at once.
Big dreams.
Yeah, that's right. I'm moving up in the world. I've got a bigger pot. But yeah, so I suppose it's just keep growing it. Get it to a point where maybe I need premises so I can start producing bigger batches.
Yeah.
And just trying to get into different locations. I absolutely love being in butchers, because I think with butchers, they know their product. They know what goes well with their product. And like when I was with Ant's place, he just pushed it so well because he knew this would go perfectly with that. And he'd get the customer saying, well, what are you doing? We'll try this. And that's what I think. Sometimes when you're in just like, no disrespect to barbecue shops, when you're in barbecue shops, they've got so much more stuff to look at and think about. Things like where they're not food driven. I think when you're in butchers, we're also in James from JL Butchers.
Yeah. And
same thing, he's been fantastic because he'll recommend, you've just bought this, what are you doing with it? Have you thought about trying this with it? And I just think when you've got someone who is food orientated, who's their focus is that way. And James has made some sausages with our sauces as well that went down really well. I did a mango sauce, and I think he's done an ambassador sauce as well. And he did a Kraken.
Oh yeah,
Kraken sausage.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah, that went down well.
It
was Kraken.
Scottish accent on that one. There's a Kraken.
Exactly. I suppose I'd love to get into working more with the butchers, getting more into that side of things, because I just think they just work so well. Just trying to grow it and see where I can take it. Hopefully, my long-term goal is to get it to a point where this could be my main job. Not trying to juggle two and a household. But yes, that's I suppose the long-term goal is to get it to a point where I can get out of manual labor that's just not helping me health-wise.
Yeah.
And just spend my days making sauces and trying to think of weird ones to come up with.
Do you have any weird ones that you can give us right now as an exclusive? We can always edit it out if it's top secret.
Yeah, no. I've got sort of playing on sort of a mopping type of sauce that also could possibly be used in other areas. I'm thinking maybe a tequila sauce.
And we'll have a gallon of that.
That's right. There's always a few sort of things. I'd like to do maybe a sort of a mayonnaise style
I'm here
sauce
for it.
as well.
I'm a mayonnaise slut.
But yeah,
There was a chimichurri mayonnaise that I bought at the farm shop. Yeah, exactly. That I bought. And I was just like, my wife was like, you spent like 6 or 7 pounds on this pot, and it's like all gone in like one bit. And she goes, you know, you can make this at home. I was like, yeah, but it's the same. It's not the same.
Good. Yeah, so there's a few things sort of bouncing around, but yeah, I've got to be careful because if I put too much out there, then I'm not going to be able to have time to. And I don't want to be in a position where I'm rushing through the process just because I'm under pressure. Yeah, I'm a bit of a control freak like that. I like to make sure each batch is where it should be. And I think if I overdo too many too soon, then I'll be under that pressure where I'll be just trying to bash them out to keep up with demand. And I don't want to end up like that.
Yeah, good.
You wanted to develop organically, really. So, and then you're like, right, that came together really nicely. Might tweak this and that instead of, like you said, just punching it out and just going, yeah, fuck it. Because that's not your style. It's never has been.
No,
that's what I've been saying about your sauce as well. It's just like, it's just consistent with every batch. And you saying, oh, it's a grand here and there. I was like, I haven't even noticed it because everything is still that. All the flavor, everything is still that. It's just brilliant. You know, with some of the stuff you get is like other stuff you get. It's just like, that was really salty, or that had too much of this. So you're just like, oh, okay. Like, but with yours, it's just same. And you can guarantee pushing it and, you know, pushing those other flavors to other people, you know, collaborating that with that, and it just works.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is you can maintain that consistency of a product. People then, know what they're getting. And they're happy to constantly sort of go for that, then always losing the edge of it or else have gone a bit, so yeah, I definitely want to keep it to a point where it's consistent to our standard.
Nice. Have you ever thought about going into the world of dry rubs?
Yes and no.
Or like the powdered glazes almost.
Yeah. half of me wishes every time I sort of are under the sort of the pump to get the batch done, think, rubs are so much easier. There's no cooking involved and stuff like that. But I might do. I don't think I'll ever bring out a full range because, again, I think there's so many great companies out there that are just killing it when it comes to rubs and spice seasonings and things like that. But I definitely wouldn't mind a few just to complement my range, so people can then say, I'll grab the Captain and this goes well with the Captain, or stuff like that, just so it's like a bit of a package deal. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to go down the full rub market because, like I say, there's great people doing it. My brother, who lives in Australia, he has a line of rubs he's doing, so I've been having a chat with him about maybe sort of collaborating with him.
Good chap.
Because he's a wizard when it comes to flavor profiles and putting rubs together, and he's actually killing it over there.
Yeah,
with the rubs. Because it's interesting. I was talking the other day, and I think the Australian market has this perception, I think, of always cooking outdoors, and they do, but I think they're about maybe 5-6 years behind us on the whole barbecue scene and the whole cooking with rubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially
very set their ways.
Yeah, and I think the American sort of attitude is slowly filtering over there, so they're getting into their briskets and pulled porks and stuff like that. So yeah, my brother hit the market right over there with his, and he's similar to me. He wanted a range of sort of rubs that are just really unique and different, but again, just really wholesome, basic products that we picked up from my dad and my mum when they were cooking. It was never really sort of like, oh well, let's just cheat and crack a can open or stuff like that. So it was always fresh ingredients. And so I remember sort of summers at my nan's place. Same thing there. My granddad would be in the garden growing all the vegetables and stuff like that, and that's what we'd eat that night. And so yeah, I think that's sort of ingrained in us to try and go back to that sort of way of living.
Yeah.
Very much so. It's nice that both you and your brother are in the sort of food industry, like doing kind of like a condiment sort of thing. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's good, and 'cause he's he's like I say, he's absolutely killing over there. He really is. He's got better weather than me, but
It's not always about the weather though. Like because when you said that, it was like they are 5-6 years behind. But like we have like, I feel like the food culture in the UK or Europe in general is so much stronger than it has been in Australia. And like there is something about it where they've adapted, seasons with palates. And, there's like we've learned to adapt with Australia. It's just like it can't just always be smoked brisket, pork buds, kebabs. They're like, I don't know if it gets colder down south, but where I'm from in the Queensland, it's just like, it's fucking hot.
that's where my brother is in Queensland.
Yeah, best state. Yeah. Shout out Queensland. Yeah, but it is hot. Like my mum and dad never cooked. They never cooked. And like you said about your mum, if there was a pill for food, I was just immediately went, my olds. I was like, they'd be fucking loving it. But but that's why I got into the food industry, because none of them could cook. They poisoned me. They poisoned me more times than I can remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite funny. And you did say the US influence is like really just coming over now, and it's like everyone's adapting and picking up on doing those things. But I still think here in the UK there is a very strong food culture.
Oh, we are. I think there's always been that underlining food culture in the UK, but I definitely think it's I think the past there was always the British food type of thing, where now it's like you say the general scene, and I think as bad as lockdown and COVID was, I think it really got people thinking.
There's a big reset.
Deep
reset.
Yeah, it was. It got people out there. They're bored. Let me say, the barbecue scene. If you look at the barbecue, it just exploded. I don't ever remember a time that barbecue shops were open all year round. They had their season, and that was it. Where now they're sort of open all year round, doing business. I think it may have hurt the restaurant market a little bit, because now, I don't know about you guys, but I can't go to a restaurant and order a steak anymore. It's like,
not really.
Never had to.
No, you didn't. Just bring it home.
Yeah, exactly. But you would pick we wouldn't go to a steak restaurant. We would go to like a fish restaurant or something that's a bit more unique, or something that's doing something that you've seen on Instagram, and be like, yeah, let's go fucking eat that. But we would never eat beef or lamb, or maybe pork. If we were dining out, it'd be something different. But because you can just cook that shit at home.
Yeah,
it's fucking brilliant. I love cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. And I think people are just embracing it so much now, and getting back to experimenting as well with foods, and say, well, will this work? And like I say to people at the shows, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to make a dish and go, yeah, I didn't really like that, but you're not going to go, I feel sick, I can't eat. You're just going to be saying but you've learned that, hey, that maybe doesn't go with that, or maybe try a different method. And I think, we're definitely getting back to that sort of thinking, and also experimenting and wanting to support local businesses. I definitely think since COVID, we've seen that people shift on, let's support our local butcher, let's support our local greengrocer type of thing. And I remember as a kid, one of my best family friends, it was almost like a second dad to me. For a while, he had a little greengrocer business in a van. He used to drive around and deliver the potatoes and stuff like that. And then it just suddenly all disappeared as people were heading towards the supermarkets.
Yeah.
But I think people are now realizing, especially like what you guys always say, the traceability of the meat, the welfare. And people are looking at that now with products like mine is, well, what's in it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it loaded with sugar? Is it loaded with this? And the allergen market. I had celiacs when I was a child, and back then there was no free from section. All my food came through the pharmacist. My bread was about sort of that big, and you daren't touch it because it just turned to ash. And it was just like, that's my sandwich type of thing. My mum used to have to carry a book like this with all the codes and everything in it for if I could eat it or not. Where they realise now, that's why we have a big free from section, but people are also, aware of now what they're putting in their bodies. And we have so many people with so many allergies that aren't even on the sort of 14 allergen list. They said, oh, does it have this in it? I'm sensitive to this. And so I think they're slowly picking up on, well, we want to avoid this in our foods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're definitely at the shows. I see that a lot, and people sort of, oh, thank you so much for bringing out a sauce that I can have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good.
That was one of the things I picked up as well, was the allergens. And when I saw your list, and I spoke to you many times, and I was like, right, let's put this in the shop. And because, like you said, that allergen list is huge. And I was like, yep, sweet. And then you had a target audience who were like, yeah, I only like beef. And you're like, yep, sweet. Here's the captain. Or here's like the coffee, and people were like, oh, and then you're like, no, try it. It works. And people were like, okay, they come back a week or two later. They're like, that's the shit, man. Give me more. And you're like, yeah, like, it works.
It's great. It's great when you hear that, because then you do feel like you're helping in the market. Don't get me wrong. I think there's always a place for some of these barbecue sauces, these American sauces, in certain dishes, in certain foods. But for me, it's not something I want all the time.
Yeah.
To be honest, I can't remember the last time I actually bought now, a run-of-the-mill sauce, because I just think, well, you're only going to feel like afterwards because it's so rich. Or
True. I had a Bubba Ray's. I ate some Bubba Ray's a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, wow. I'm feeling the sugar, baby.
Yeah, it just feels dense, doesn't
it? No, it just spazzing out so much sugar, man.
Yeah. But even those brands, they're realising now that, people want different flavour profiles. So they're getting so much more different flavours coming out and different sort of takes on it. So, the food market and people's palates, I think, are definitely changing. They're wanting something different. They're wanting something more. And I just, like I said, from lockdown and that, with all the cooking shows now, you see people are sort of going, oh, I could maybe tackle that. I could do that. And that sort of interest now in general food practice and food cooking is definitely in the UK, I think, it's exploded. Yeah. But you see that by the footfall at some of these festivals.
Yeah, they are busy. As you said earlier, every stall pretty much has 8, 10, 15 people in front of it most of the time.
Yeah.
It's constant. Besides the beer tent.
Yeah.
The seat.
Yes, you're there doing this. This is my turn.
Whoa, hold on a minute.
You gotta get a beer tax.
These taps are mine.
Yeah.
Yes, it was smoke and fire.
Yeah. Malden was crazy.
Yeah.
Malden was just
busy.
It was crazy. Yeah,
there was so many people, and
me and my boy didn't stop.
That's good.
For lunches or anything. It was just like you get that, you feel that break. You go, okay, good. And it's like this wave comes again, and it's just great. It really is. I love it.
Yeah, because that one was a big circle, so people were literally just walking round and round and round, because the day was developing, because you had all the barbecue lot getting on with their stuff, and you could think, oh, we'll see what they're up to when you come back round. Let's grab a few more chips from Woz,
Yeah. It was nice, actually, because that was the second time I've done Malden. Because the first time we went to Colchester, and that was an absolute flop.
Really?
It really was, yeah. But then last year at Malden was brilliant, complete sellout as well. And then this year it was so nice because we had people coming back saying, "Oh, I bought this, and this last year. Can I get this, and this off you this year?" And
cool.
Like this, and they said, "Oh, can we order online?" I was like, "Yeah." So you sort of getting that nice regular feedback. And he's like, "Okay,
brilliant.
This is quite cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is summer your busiest time, or are you pretty consistent throughout the whole year?
Pretty consistent throughout the whole year. We're slowly. The first year was definitely busier during the summer period, because a lot of my products were only in like barbecue shops, and they do have. I hate using the word barbecue season, because every day it's barbecue.
Yeah.
but they have their lower periods of the year. So we noticed that, sales dropped then. This year has been fairly steady. Hopefully that will continue going as we sort of try and get into other areas. That's why I'm sort of keen to sort of, you look at artisanal shops, more butchers, and people like that, because then that's a regular business. You got regular customers, you got regular footfall. It's not, oh, well, the general public are not barbecuing now because it's coming into colder weather. So they're not buying as much. But yeah, so hopefully also like our online sales are picking up as well. So we're getting people sort of texting me saying, oh, payday's next week. If you got these in stock, and
I need another one, man.
Yeah, that's right. Payday's coming. Get the Twitches.
Need me some of that ambassador, baby.
Yeah, one of our regulars, he dropped me a text. He goes, "When are you making the ambassador?" And I said, "Oh, funny enough, I'm actually making it because it was today." So making it today. He went, "Oh, okay. Couldn't do me a litre bottle, could you?" And I was like, "Yeah, go on then. I'll do one up for you."
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a litre bottle coming his way.
Oh, yeah.
That's wicked.
You remember when you did all those litre bottles for me that you're going to make me work for it? I was like, yeah. They're all for the festivals that I do.
It is.
They didn't last. This was fucking awesome. Still got the bottles.
Yeah. So it's also hoping looking to sort of expand that maybe as well, getting into sort of the catering side, supplying caterers with big. But yeah, that's a little way down there at the moment. But you'll get there.
Or stepping stones to a bigger thing, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. And I want it to grow organically because then you can keep up. Sure. With the other business, family, caring for my wife who's not well. I think if it exploded too much too quickly, I think you just get too stressed out, and that's when the quality drops, and then you start letting people down, and I hate doing that.
Oh yeah, it's the worst. Because that's the thing, like you'll do 100 good things, but if you do one bad thing, everyone remembers that one thing. It's like, fuck was, he let me down. It's like, yeah, but he did 99 other good things. Don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, people be fickle. People are fickle.
There it is.
Oh, there is. And you can't please everyone as much as you try, but you try and sort of keep that consistency. So I'm quite liking it sort of growing that way. Not too fast, but it's growing, and that's what I like to see.
Awesome.
Brilliant. Dude, like, I need to ask, but like, what's the dumbest thing you've been asked at like the festivals or anything from the general public? This is
my best. Before we changed our name, because to me, we were Waz's Barbecue Hut originally, and because that was when I first started. That was I loved cooking outdoors. I loved barbecuing. There wasn't really any decent, what I call decent barbecue sauces at the time. So my focus was, let me bring a range of barbecue sauces out to the market. Realized very quickly that actually these are more than just a barbecue sauce. These are an everyday sauce you can use in so many ways. But my daughter came up with the name. We'd had everything printed, everything labeled. So we thought, look, it's a name. People look at the product. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
The name. And people couldn't get past the barbecue name. So we're at first festival, actually, at Ascot. This lady, lovely lady, comes out. We're having a nice chat, and she's trying it. She goes, "Oh yes, I like this. I like this." She goes, "Oh, can I just ask one question?" I was like, "Yes." Sir. She goes, "Can I use them indoors?" And I was like, how do I tactfully tell her? Yes, they don't explode. And I just said to her, where do you use your ketchup? She goes, "All indoors." I said, "Well, there you go. Just the sauce." It's just the sauce. But yeah, that's probably the most bizarre thing I've asked, if they could use them indoors.
What if you said no?
Yeah, that's right. No, you can't. They explode.
Dog kennel. Yeah.
They go sour if you take them indoors.
Yeah.
They're like a vampire walking into a church.
So we realised fairly quickly after that we may have to change our name. So we changed over to Waz's Sauce Hut instead.
Yeah, brilliant name.
The rest is history.
Yes,
He's crushing it, mate.
Absolutely slaying.
Keep moving it forward,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we'll see where it goes. So we can look at really.
Oh yeah.
We'll keep preaching
Yeah.
the good word of the boys to source up, mate.
I appreciate that.
One
I appreciate
episode
it. Thank you
at
for
a
having
time.
me as your first sponsor as well. That was great.
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely
amazing.
loved it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know my she hate me for saying this, but my daughter is entering your field of work.
Witchery.
Yeah.
You mentioned this, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So proud of her. She really is. She's loving it. She's worked with JL James, and she's been having an absolute blast.
She's starting a apprenticeship, or
Well, she's still got a year at uni to go.
Yep.
So what she's doing is just working there part time, and then if after, I think she's got like half a year to go or something, if she's still loving it, then she's going to go through the apprenticeship. So she was there today making sausages and boning out. I think she was either boning out a pork butt or separating.
Mm-hmm.
But so she's doing all that today.
So this is how you infiltrate the butchers.
Yeah.
You keep it
my
in the
daughter.
family.
Yeah, that's right.
In there.
But it's quite funny actually, because I was telling her the other day, all the podcasts I listen to you guys, and most butchers you have on there always say, we just sort of fell into it. Wasn't my plan, just fell into it. And it's the same thing. She wants you to be graphic designer and an engineer type of thing. And now she's like, no, I want to be a butcher.
Yeah, because you do it once and you go, this is pretty sweet, actually.
I get to play with knives.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to.
Yeah. And the banter is unreal. It's just,
Yeah.
you can't sit in an office doing that, can you?
No, exactly.
No, you written up straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, HR's calling. Oh, man, it's only been a week.
Yeah. And to HR again.
Yeah.
Mate, if I ever had an office job, I think I'd probably last like 2 weeks.
Oh,
honestly.
I would
Like
eat
that.
my own face off.
Yeah.
I did.
I don't think I could sit down long enough. Just like, fuck am I doing with this computer?
Yeah, no. I've always worked outside, always worked with my hands, Thought about sitting in an office in front of a screen.
Yeah. Horrible.
If we're
That's
doing that
not-
right now.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah.
All our office folk would know we're just, we're playing.
Yeah.
Fucking job.
Nice.
Well, this has been so good. It's been such a long time as well. It's just like we wanted you on at the beginning, and then we're just like, no, we'll wait, and then it just kind of spiraled out of control. And then
you guys have been smashing the podcast. I've been loving listening to them.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it's
it.
always a laugh. I don't know. I've said it, but I took a picture because you wanted pictures of where people watch the podcast.
Yeah.
And so in the hut where I cook, I flick up the side of my Blackstone, and they got hooks, and I just rest my phone in the hooks because it's the only place I can get the Wi-Fi still. And I have you guys playing there while I'm cooking.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's brilliant.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. Makes the day go by.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you poor bastard listening to us for an hour.
Good.
I appreciate life so much more afterwards.
The silence.
Yeah. So the kids come home, you're like, oh, it's all ruined.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
That's right. Just I'm developing a sauce and I have to lock myself in the hut.
Yeah.
Can't disturb me.
Yeah. The whole business is a ruse just to do the podcast.
Right. Yeah. Just to hide.
Yeah. They're awesome.
Yeah, man. Do we move on to some guest questions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Top of the bucket list, Warren. What do you got?
Top of the bucket list. I'd probably say one of them is diving the Great Barrier Reef before it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Making a comeback.
Yeah, it's definitely making a comeback.
Making a comeback, yeah.
Were you talking to the man who could help do that?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to go? You want to go to Queensland? Go to Cairns, my hometown. I'll tell you where to go, mate. Big
Definitely.
fights.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'd love to dive. I've done like Egypt and places like that, but yeah, to do the Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else on the bucket list, really. I'd love to sort of see this business pass on to my children, maybe. Be quite cool.
Nice.
That'd be brilliant. Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
But if she becomes a butcher then as well, it kind of just could naturally happen that way as well. Would be great.
Be awesome.
Yes.
Great Barrier Reef. Didn't see that one coming. But once you've done the Great Barrier Reef and then you go diving elsewhere, it's just like, this is a crock of shit.
Yeah.
It really is.
But if you've ever dived in England, it's like, it's murky and
It's not too bad. It's not too bad over at Old Harry's Rock down here in Dorset when you get like the summer days and it's nice and still. You get like 20, 25 meter visibilities. It's pretty good.
Wow, that's good.
And you get like a good the chalk wall going down and it has like the kelp and everything. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Not as nice as seeing clownfish and all that though, is it?
Reef sharks and giant clams. Yeah, man. It's a different style of diving.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah. You've probably heard some of the diving accidents I've had.
I've had a couple, yeah.
Yeah, I've got plenty more of those to go.
Is that when you say who's buddying up with Luke? I mean, no, I'm not doing it.
No, man, we're not doing that one. Right. 3 people to invite to dinner, dead or alive, and why?
This one was hard because every time I sort of listen to your podcast, I hear sort of people say it's a tricky one to come up with. I'd probably say Elvis. First one, just because, I know if I have a dinner party, my daughter's going to be there, and she is a huge Elvis fan.
Well, that's good.
And also, I reckon he's got some interesting stories as well. His life.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably Elvis. I'd probably say actually my granddad as well. That's sort of, a lot of people say fan, but yeah, my granddad. Just for series is I have a lot of really fond memories of a child, spending summers there, and he had this ability to make these stories up, and they went on, and it'd stop, and he'd say, "I'll carry on tomorrow night." And he just able to pick it up where he left off, and he always promised to write these children's stories down, and he never did. So yeah, I'd love to sort of have him at the dinner table and just hear a story again.
That's good.
That's pretty cool.
The third one. I don't know. Probably my initial thought when I was thinking about this would be someone like Garth Brooks or someone like that. So I do love a bit of country music, and I just think he's a legend in the industry. That or Dolly Parton. I reckon she's got some amazing stories as well.
Yeah, she got crazy stories, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd probably be my 3.
Yeah,
nice.
Granddad, a true yarnsman, sounds like.
Yeah.
Right. Third question. Where do you see the future of the barbecue industry going?
I think strength to strength. I think there's some amazing people out there bringing some amazing products to the market. I think the general public is now aware of what they're eating. They're conscious of the chain as well. So I think generally, the interest there, pulling families together as well, I think, is more a focus point of a lot of people. You speak to them and it's all about, getting the family around for dinner again on the table or around the fire and stuff like that. So I think the barbecue industry as a whole, I definitely think it's growing strength to strength. Especially in our field with the sauces and the rubs. Yeah, and I think it's, like I said earlier, people are just now aware of experimenting. They're aware of food. They're aware of what can be done with food, and the excitement of learning how barbecue operates. It's not just let's chuck some chicken thighs and some sausages on and burgers. I remember one person said to me, it was years ago, it was quite an eye opener, because I was in the same mindset that, oh yeah, barbecues are for this and indoor cooking is for this. And he just said to me, does your barbecue have a lid on it? And I said, yeah. He says, it's an oven then. And he just paused. I went, oh, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's like, well, if I'm going to put it in my oven indoors, then just set my barbecue, close the lid, and now I'm adding flavour to it because I'm adding a bit of smoke to it or the charcoal. You're just enhancing the flavour now more of that product. I think a lot of the public are really sort of cottoning onto this.
Yeah.
And also just therapeutically. So after a stressful day, when your head's all over the place and you can't see the wood for the trees, you light that fire, you switch on your barbecue or whatever you've got, you sitting there prepping your meat, it's ready to go on and choosing what seasoning, your thought process, and you just start forgetting. It's a bit like with diving, it's like when you dive, you can't think about anything else, you've got to think about the job at hand. And I think that's like with the barbecue and cooking outside, is you're thinking about, okay, I've got this beautiful cut of meat, let me treat it with respect. What seasoning am I going to put? Will that go with it? What sauce am I going to use at the end or halfway through? And you can just switch off completely to the world and to your problems just for that small moment in time. And I think a lot of people since COVID have really sort of grabbed that and enhanced it more. Because, people are aware of mental health, they're aware of their own sort of standing and focus. I can only see positive things for barbecue industry as a whole, but just generally the food industry, I think, is quite positive.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. I love that. Passionate man.
Yeah, I was going to say, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Sick.
Death row meal, starter, main, dessert, and what you drinking.
Okay. Starter, buffalo frog legs, I think.
Nice.
For starter. Yeah. Or main's a tricky one because initially I thought, I'd go for a full-on Texas platter, the works, you know what I mean? Then I thought, actually, no, nice bunny chow would be quite nice. So, basically South African curry cooked in a potjie over fire. Right. And then you basically get a nice loaf of bread, you core out the middle, and then you load the curry inside and you just sit there eating it with your hands and slowly eating around the bread until you get to that nice little soggy base. It's one of those two. I suppose if I'm going on death row, I might as well just pig out and have both.
Fine.
Don't have to worry about the calories.
It's true.
So
he's not wrong. He's the first to say that as well.
Hey, I didn't get this big by worrying my calories.
Festively flat, as Luke would say.
I enjoy my food, as you can tell.
There we all.
Yeah. For dessert, I think straight off sticky toffee pudding.
It's another one.
Sticky toffee.
Loads of custard.
Ice cream?
No, custard.
Okay. Custard man. That's a good meal.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Drink, I think, during the probably Moretto's beers to start with. Yeah. And then moving straight on to the bourbons afterwards. So like a good Buffalo Trace or Maker's Mark, Eagles Rare, that type of thing. To finish the evening off.
And then get executed.
So I'll be truly full, truly hammered, so I won't care what they did to me the next day.
There you go. Brilliant. Delicious. I like the sound of that curry as well.
The potjie, and that was, it's the shit, man. That's the good stuff right there.
Oh, it's absolutely lovely. I love doing it. It's just you get the fire going, you get the potjie, and then you just spend the whole day just nurturing this curry.
No.
And then, you get to load up in this nice bit of fresh bread.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bit of the ambassador on top.
There you go.
Got to add the sauce.
You got to have a shot of it. So you take a mouthful of that and then you do a shot of the ambassador. Yeah, man. I'm in flavor country.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. Last question is a pretty serious one.
Yep.
Are aliens real?
Well, I stand by my comment at Ascot, if you can remember that.
No.
I don't think they are.
Fuck off.
I knew you would say that.
Elaborate, please. Go on then.
That's it, and we're done.
Fuck this.
So not even a small inkling of that there could be anything out there.
No, I think it's us. And that's it.
It's us, the sun, and apparently 7 other planets.
Yep.
Nothing else.
That keeps us all in orbit nicely. That's all they're there for.
I like
What about like God and all that? Do you believe in the God?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon
Yeah.
he's an alien then?
No.
Just
He's a
nothing.
spirit being.
Come on now, it's got to be like an alien of some sort.
You're going to get me to say it.
Yeah.
We're on a streak of 100 right now, and you're ruining this.
Here we go.
I remember your face, the first person who said no.
Yeah.
You're like,
Huh?
kidding me? What?
No way.
They've got it against the grain. There's got to be one sometime.
It has. Yeah.
I'm glad it's you, Warren, because if it's
I
someone
appreciate
else, if it's
You
someone else,
kicked
I go,
off.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
They care about what your status is. Fuck you.
That's right, unfollowed.
Yeah. What a waste of a podcast this was.
That's right, yeah. Thanks for wasting my evening.
Could you imagine? Oh man, that'd be so sad.
Yeah, we don't have a podcast this Friday.
Someone let us down.
That's right.
Unfollow this person. Oh, that'd really
Yeah.
divide a room. So nothing. So no, there's no inkling whatsoever you can think of that there are other beings out there. Nothing.
No.
He's a
It's just
non-believer.
us beautiful selves, and that's it. Uniquely made.
You heard it here first.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I'm back now.
You're back now, yeah.
Oh man.
Well, how many guest episodes? 20 something. But it was bound to be one.
That's it.
Yeah. I love it. I'm glad it was him. Now just go to Instagram.
I know. This has been absolutely amazing, mate. We really appreciate you giving us your evening. Great chat, and we appreciate you.
Oh no, thank you so much for having me on.
Anytime.
Really appreciate it. I love your podcast. They always keep me entertained,
Thank you, man.
especially Red Duck, Green Duck.
I know we're
Some
going to bring
weird-ass
that
things, boy.
back. We're bringing it back.
We're bringing it back. There is a few odd things I've eaten that I'm going to...
Just a few.
Yeah, there's a few more odd things. Yeah, there is, yeah.
You traveled Asia. There's all crazy shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I've done some of Europe as well. And my wife did remind me of things that I've eaten in other parts of Europe. And she was like, "You shouldn't have done that." I was like, "Hey, what are you going to do?"
But yeah, no, you're right. I have the philosophy of I'm happy to eat cow, then at least try something once.
And go back for seconds on dog. Trust me, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
When the apocalypse
Hey.
comes around, why not?
Why not? Exactly.
Xena is not safe around me.
So she's sat over there just watching me through the door, being like,
Yeah.
"Who the fuck are you talking to?"
That's right. Keep him away from me.
Yeah. Funny.
Right, before we go, Wards, plug and promote everything about you.
Yeah, so wazzysaucer.co.uk. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, maybe every so often on TikTok. Still haven't cracked that one.
Same.
But yeah, just want to sort of appreciate everyone that's supported me, everyone that's bought the sources, you guys. I wouldn't be doing what I love if it wasn't for you guys and the public and that willing to part with their hard-earned money, because it's not easy to come by nowadays, and buy my sauce over other stuff. So yeah, just want to say a massive thank you, and I appreciate everyone for it.
Oh yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah. We appreciate you. Right. I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Luke and I will see you on the Monday's episode. Bye now.
Peace.
Peace.